Aloha friends, and welcome back to the channel. We have something really delicious to talk to you about. It's called butter baked cake. It's really delicious. It's all real ingredients. There's no seed oils. I'm going to show you Whitney's interview after this. Whitney, who created this for her son, who had some health issues, and she needed to have a delicious option for him. So these are keto, sugar-free, grain-free, and delicious.
Yeah.
And she also sends you like a whole bunch of stuff in here. Let's see. What do we have? We have strawberry she knows we don't really like chocolate. So we have strawberry cupcakes. She calls them muffins, but I think it's a cupcake. Oh, that's really good. This is like coffee cake. It's cinnamon coffee cake. It's really good. It's called like cinnamon roll. Yeah. We have like cinnamon cupcakes or muffins, whatever you want to call it, and vanilla. She also has chocolate, but we just don't love chocolate. No. So we have these, and Kai's going to do Kai's taste test. I love this cinnamon coffee cake. If you have like a brunch coming up or the holidays brunch, Easter brunch, get this and store it in the freezer. It lasts like months in the freezer, and then you can just take that out if you don't like to bake. So why don't you frost that up? She also sends frosting that's made with real butter. It's just butter, salt. Let's see. It was in the fridge, so it was really hard, and then I had to warm it up. All right, Kai. You need more frosting on there, don't you?
There we go.
There you go. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, taste test. Okay, 1 through 10, tell us. 1 through 10.
9.
A 9, people. That's pretty good. We've never gotten over a 9. So if you're interested in Butter Baked Keto, the link will be below, and you can use code Maria20, and you save big time on your order. But stay tuned. We're going to have Whitney's interview after this. What do you want to tell people?
Cook with your kids.
Well, we're not cooking. Maybe just like buy Butter Baked cake for your kids. Yeah. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to a very special interview I have with this beautiful woman named Whitney. And I'm going to tell you about her in a minute, but I got to meet her. I believe we met in San Diego.
Was it San Diego we first met, or in Texas at KetoCon?
One of those was KetoCon, but that's way too many people. But in San Diego, it was my birthday. And let me tell you, we went to this amazing steak restaurant, and all of a sudden, everybody starts singing, and there's this beautiful cake that Whitney made for me that's sugar-free, gluten-free, keto, like all the deliciousness. And it's still one of my favorite birthdays ever. So thank you, Whitney.
Of course.
You're always one of your butter-baked. Is that one of your butter baked cake recipes?
Yeah, I had. So everyone knows you're always baking for everyone else. And our dear friend Tracy Howard had told me it was your birthday. And I just knew that you needed to have someone finally bake a cake for you.
That was probably the only time anybody's ever baked a cake for me. So it's still one of my favorite birthdays. So thank you for that. But the reason I wanted to tell you about the story, because it was so delicious. Everybody gobbled that cake up. And this is part of your company, right? Tell us more about your Butter Baked Cake company.
Yeah, so I created Butter Baked Cake Co. In 2018. Well, that's when the recipes started. My son was having medical issues, and we realized food was really contributing to a lot of his health challenges. And so our family decided to eliminate a lot of the ingredients that were inflammatory. So sugar and gluten and grains and seed oils, especially. Yeah. And there really were not any options in the baked goods space, especially without seed oils and with the combination of those.
There's any.
There really are not. It's very difficult to find things made without seed oils and gluten and sugar combined. Forget about low carb. I mean, that's like a whole nother, your audience probably all knows that, how difficult it is. And so I just started experimenting in the kitchen, and I had a background in sales and marketing, and also always loved to bake. And so after a while, I'd had my daughter, Charlie. She was an infant. And after I'd been making this stuff for our family as a solution, so he wouldn't be left out of birthday parties and life celebrations, Christmas and other holidays. And our family was eating some of these things. And I eventually decided, because Charlie was still really little, that I would bring it to the market, because I realized there was a lot of families like ours that, as any of your people know, it's seems like it would be really easy to create these recipes, even if you have the right ingredients, but it really isn't. I baked for years, and there's a weird thing that happens when you try to create sugar-free, gluten-free, grain-free, all of these things, low carb, and the ingredients are very expensive.
Yeah.
And people are so busy, and I was so busy. I mean, I didn't have time to make these, let alone other busy families. So I knew people were looking for something like this, whether they were just gluten-free, just sugar-free, just seed oil-free, but just soy-free. So I knew there was a market for it, and people really needed something like this to let their loved ones be included in celebrations. And so that's when I decided to bring it to the market. And we started out by doing events, farmers markets and things like that, community events. And then soon after that, we started doing direct to consumer, which is when I met you. I think maybe it was like first KetoCon, or then soon after that, San Diego. Yeah. And we started shipping nationwide, and then eventually started going into grocery stores. So we did like the cakes. So we've got like the loaf cakes, which I think cinnamon is what I made your cake, because that might be your favorite.
That is my favorite one.
So we've got like loaf cakes and things like that, and muffins. And then what we're really known for is our butter-based frosting pouches, because we're the only commercially produced frosting in really the market that uses butter.
Show that again, because people love to, not that I love coffee, but people love to put that in their coffee.
People go crazy for this as a coffee creamer. It's only 5 ingredients, and they're all real food. So it's non-GMO butter, Ceylon cinnamon, Redmond real salt, Lakantos powdered sweetener, and organic vanilla. So it tastes really good in coffee.
It does taste really good anywhere, because like I just love that I can trust your ingredients, because we even had like this long conversation years ago about your sweetener and how a different company changed their formula and added, what is it, tapioca starch or something?
Yes.
I can't use that anymore. I don't feel that it's safe. And so you switched, and I just was like, wow, I really love her.
It's so tricky, because sometimes they switch. We'll be using something and they don't let us know we're buying, hundreds of pounds of something to use in our recipes, and they'll switch. And we have it on our label already, and it's clean, and then they switch. And we find out, because I just happened to look on their website, and they've changed their formulation without any, which is so dangerous. It makes me so furious.
Yeah, and what they can hide in natural flavorings is just frustrating. But I just love that you are on top of that, and I can trust exactly what's in there. And I love when you send the cupcakes, or you call them muffins?
Muffins.
Okay, well, I call them cupcakes, because kids like cupcakes way better. Yeah. And then your frosting, and we had like a little cookie or a cupcake frosting party.
Yeah, totally. Where you just can frost them. That's really the point of it, is that we want people. We are sold in grocery stores here in Southern California. We're expanding outside, but we sell. I don't know if I've ever sent you pictures of these.
Oh,
we sell them at grocery stores already frosted.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, they're really pretty. But what we want is for it to be accessible to people who are, when we ship to areas where there's not like a Whole Foods, or we're trying to get into Whole Foods, but like areas that don't have these natural food stores. And so customers who want to make their own cupcakes, they just take these out of the freezer, because they don't have preservatives, and then they frost them themselves, which is really fun.
That's what I love too, is that like if you have a event coming up or whatever, you can just buy a bunch and put it in the freezer, and they store great for just like we had a rainy day, we had a cupcake party, and I added some natural colorings to them, and then everybody had their own cupcake decorating party, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's nice. You're not like, even if you don't have kids, it's not for kids or adults specifically, but if you when some people, if they have a sweet tooth, or if they're going into that keto transition and they're really craving sugar, the fact that you're keeping them in the freezer and they're just on hand for some of those impulses is really, really key.
Well, I got to tell you, right before we were texting back and forth, I got a text from my aunt, who I love dearly. Like, we're super close. She's more like my age, right? And she texted me, she said, I've been trying to cut out sugar, and it was really difficult. And now that I found butter baked cake, I love it. And she lives over in Minnesota, and she's like, I can do this now, because she's not one to like baking, right? Not everybody likes it. It's a science. And so it was just like warmed my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, Whitney. I think I sent it to you.
And people, they feel bad because they think, oh, all these bloggers and recipes, no offense to you and I, we make it look, oh, it's so easy. Look at this recipe and blah, blah, blah.
It.
But it isn't always so easy for everyone. And then you feel so bad about yourself when it doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to. And like I said, the ingredients are very costly.
They are costly. And, you know, I don't like to clean, so I can't blame you for not liking to cook or bake. And I understand. It's like, I was just at an event where I was doing like cooking demos and speaking. And when I turned on the oven, it was filled with stuff because she's like, I don't use my oven.
There's just pans in there.
I know, it was like the fire was like, not a fire, but the fire alarm was going to go off because everything was smoking and it was just terrible. But I don't think people realize like how hard it is to find stuff without seed oils.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really hard. And seed oils will be like soybean oil, cottonseed oil, canola oil. And that's in most baked goods. And I love that you sent stuff to me, which was so nice of you. And I was gone. I don't know if I was in Thailand or stuff. So Craig had it in the fridge, but I was gone a long time and they went bad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was like, no, we got to put those in the freezer. But seriously, like people don't realize the shelf life is not, you know, what is it, 7 days?
Yeah, it's 7 days and without being like in the refrigerator, maybe, I mean, it depends, you know, like 4 months frozen, a week in the fridge, like,
I've kept them longer than 4 months in the freezer.
Yeah, no, they're definitely longer than that.
I know.
Just, we like to say like not too much longer than 4 months, but yeah, like 6 months probably frozen. But yeah, we always say at events, we're like, we get moldy, we're really proud of it.
Yeah, I think you should be because it's, I mean, I remember my mom had like Prego marinara sauce and it would like never go bad. Because when I bought like, I don't know, Primal Kitchen or something, I was like, oh my gosh, it's bad already.
Yeah. If you have regular bread, yeah, the grocery store bread will be like sometimes like a 4-month shelf stable shelf life. Forget about like Oreos or Ding Dongs or something. I mean,
I know. I worked with a grocery store manager who wanted better ingredients in his store. And I was doing a walkthrough with him. And he said, I know things are changing and they're changing fast. Because this was probably 15 years ago we did this. And he said, bread used to have a shelf life of 8 days.
Yeah.
And he said, already within 5 years, it's now 14 days. Yeah. So like this was a long time ago. And he's just like shocked at what they're putting in them.
And then it's circling back around now though. So like Sprouts is redoing their refrigerated bread set. So they're trying to bring in like more healthy desserts in the refrigerated set, things like that. So there's definitely a push back from customers that are looking for anti-inflammatory ingredients.
That's the one great thing about YouTube is that like people get information that they never knew before, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, what do you want people to know about butter baked cake that maybe we don't know?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is obviously that we're a small family business, but that we're delicious desserts. It's not health food, right? This isn't made for people who are only eating keto. This is made for people who are looking for a way of life to make sure that everyone is included. So everyone at their entire family gathering could eat this, even if only one family member is diabetic or on the keto lifestyle. So it's not just that, okay, well, here's Aunt Sally and she's diabetic, so here's her weird cupcake. Yeah. It's actually that everyone can enjoy it. It's really meant to be an inclusive dessert so that you're not left out. It's really going to be made with real food for that very reason. We don't use space age ingredients for that very reason. And that's why when we sample things at events, people are like, I didn't even know this was healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love your loaf cake because it's perfect to have in the freezer for like a brunch or whether it be the holidays, Easter, you name it. It's just really fun to have like on a Sunday. It just feels like a coffee cake to me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Spread some butter on that. It's just like,
for sure. Good. For sure. Absolutely. So we just want to make sure that as we grow, I just went to New York because I'm opening a fundraising round. We're still, a small business. And in this business in food, it's a very costly business to grow into lots more retailers. And we've been bootstrapped here since I met you. And it's one of the things that we're talking about with investors is that customers are looking for this kind of product, and they're looking for anti-inflammatory ingredients. And they're talking about it as well. They're seeing it in the market.
Yeah.
So they're willing to, unfortunately, until the food industry changes and we have pressure coming back from these large ingredient suppliers, it's going to keep being expensive, but
but it's totally worth it. And I love that people are trying it and being like, oh my gosh, I can do this, right? Because if you're eating like bark, you're not going to be able to stand it long, right?
Yeah, no bars, no self bars. They never taste good.
Well, the ingredients are atrocious.
Yeah, there's so many fillers, and they just don't taste like food.
No. So nobody can live off that for a long time. So when you find something like this, where, like you said, you have a sweet tooth that's in the freezer, but I just love that. I love that you did this for your family, and I don't know, it's hard to get kids off sugar. So if you're try this.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing about it too with kids, and you know this more than anybody, is kids aren't going to eat something that is made to be healthy.
No.
Like, here's a plate of, spinach or broccoli. Like, they want to be like their friends.
Right.
When they go to school, their friends are eating Cheetos and all the other stuff. So if they're eating something that is lookalike and tastes the same as everybody else, pretty much, their friends are going to want it, and then they get to share.
But not only that, they get to decorate it and kind of like make it their own.
Yeah.
But you were saying something that kind of like brought me to, don't say like, hey, this is a healthy cupcake.
No.
Don't do that, because this is the thing. I have recipes, and we were at my family's cabin, which is like way up in the north woods of Wisconsin. And I have to cook outside on a cooktop. That's how like rustic this is.
Yeah.
And so my pancakes were done, and my pancakes are healthy. My mom goes, okay, everybody, breakfast is ready, but I don't know if you like the pancakes because they're healthy. It's Maria's recipe.
No.
I was like, well, wah. Don't say anything. Just be like, hey, here's some pancakes. Try it.
Yeah. What is, Rachel from Too Crazy Keto, she says, don't lie and king it or whatever. Don't say it's healthy.
No, don't do that. It's just like ruining it. So we're going to do Kai's taste test as part of this YouTube video. So, everybody loves Kai's taste test, and he's darn honest. So,
oh yeah, they'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes my kids are like, I hate that flavor. What is that?
Oh, he loves the cinnamon. He loves all like chai and all that too. But I'm going to ask you, I'm going to have the link below for everybody. Well, where can everybody find your delicious treats?
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow us on social media at Butterbakedcake Co. On TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. And then our website is butterbakedcakeco.com. And yeah, you're going to find us anytime you want. If you call, you're pretty much probably going to get me. So,
well, you're just like the sweetest person. And I just want everybody to know the link will be below. And I do have a discount code for all of you. And yep, I think it's Maria 20.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it when you have the sweetest customers. I love whenever if they call or if I call them about something, they just are so surprised. Like, oh, we just love Maria so much. She's our favorite. I'm like, well, she's just as nice in real life. I can promise you.
You're so sweet. Well, I remember you told me that probably years ago. She's like, I love working with you because your customers
are the nicest.
They are very nice. So.
They're genuinely the nicest.
I don't have a ton. Like I remember asking Craig, or saying, I wish I had more followers. He said, be careful what you wish for, because then I started growing and the mean people came in. I was like, no, I like my nice group.
No. Honestly, it's all about the right followers and their community, because your followers are so kind and they are just the most like loyal to what we do and food as medicine. It's lovely. It's really nice.
So gangster. Let's have more of that, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome. All kindness.
Well, everybody, you can find the link below, and let's support Whitney and our kids too, and have them eat sugar-free.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Whitney.
Thanks, Maria. It was so good to see you. Talk to you soon.
When I was 16 years old, I was diagnosed with PCOS, acid reflux, depression, and IBS. Instead of taking those prescription drugs, I decided to change my life with food. Yes, food healed me, and it's healed so many of my clients over the past 20 years of working with people. If you are interested in transforming your life, check out ketomaria.com. I'd be honored to help you.